Hi everybody, so this is Nami. We have had her for about 2 weeks now. I'm not gonna lie, I have tried recording this video like 3 times and have not been successful. So I apologize for not uploading. But I'm re-recording everything because the last video, it just was really sloppy and you could hear Natalie running around in the background screaming. So yeah. What I want to talk about in this video is just touch base on what you should be doing with your new puppy, well, like what the most important things are to do with them. And I'm also going to show you guys real quick how I teach her name and how to sit. Training shouldn't be top priority. When you first get your puppy, it should be other things, which we'll talk about later in the video. I do use feeding sessions for training. That's going to help a lot with training. It's going to make things go a lot faster because they are more willing to learn new things and do what you want them to do if they are hungry. Nami. And I actually fed her. Sit. Yes. I actually fed her. I'm feeding her kind of late today just so that you guys could see how motivated she is to do things when she's hungry. So I will show you how I teach her name. When you're teaching their name, you want to call their name out and then wait until they look at you. Wait until they look at you. And then once they look at you, you can reward them for that. I'll wait till she's done and picks all that up. She's super hungry if you can't tell. Nami! Yes. She's pretty familiar with her name at this point. We've had her for 2 weeks. We've been practicing this since day 1, so she's pretty good with it now. And you can also use this for recall. It's really good practice. So, like, throw a couple pieces of kibble, call their name when they're coming back to you, reward that. That's a really good start for recall because recall is really important. Granted, that's not normally taught until later, but you can practice it as early as now. Nami! Yes. Good girl. And you want to wait until they give you eye contact to give them the reward. Nami! Yes. This also teaches them that eye contact is not a bad thing. Some dogs have issues with eye contact because in dog language that is an aggressive behavior. Sit. Yes. Also, how you would teach sit. Let's see if I can get her out of the sit position. So you want to do majority of those with lures. So this is how I would teach sit. Yes. You're kind of like pushing back on them a little bit. And I also learned from another trainer that when you're rewarding a position that you have put them into a lure from, hey Nami, you want to pull it away and then give it to them so that they're differentiating between the lure and the actual command. Like that. Sit. Good girl. And I also don't put a name to the commands until they're really familiar with them. So we're working on a down currently this week, and we haven't put a name to it yet because it's not perfect. So I don't want to put a name until she's really familiar with what I want her to do. And downs were really hard for her. I had to use higher value stuff to even get her started on it. And I'm not pulling away on this one yet because I wanted to get her a little bit better at it because she would move her butt up and come up like that every time that I would move away, so see, she kind of sits back up, and I don't want to reward her when she's out of the position. You want to reward while they're still in the position so that they understand what they're being rewarded for. But that's also why I use a clicker. It's a good marker. Mommy! Yes. And I also pair it with a yes command. Or, not a command, but yes as a marker word. Because I'm not always going to have a clicker on me. There's going to be times where I forget it. I do have a bunch of them laying around my house. But I pair it with a yes so that just in case if I don't have the clicker, they understand that I'm marking that good behavior. Sit. And you want to mark the behaviors because dogs' minds only work. They only think in the moment, so you only have a couple seconds to reward them for a behavior that you wanted, so you have to be quick about it, and the clicker just helps to mark it right away. Even if you don't have the treat pulled out or their kibble or whatever, it allows you to mark it. That way they know what they're being rewarded for, and that clicker lets them know too if you have loaded your clicker, which we can talk about that in another video. It lets them know something good is coming. Yes, good girl. One of the things I want to talk about in this video as well, one of the most important things you should be doing when your puppy comes home sick, is working on potty training, crate training, and socialization. Those are more important than training in the first few weeks that you have your puppy. You should be socializing them until they cross that rainbow bridge. You should do it always, but it's very crucial to do it within the first 8 to 16 weeks. It really starts at 3 weeks, but obviously you don't have your puppy before then, hopefully. Your breeder's not giving you a puppy that early. But 8 to 16 weeks is very crucial for them to experience all these new things. They're just like toddlers at that age. Their brains are spongy. They're absorbing everything around them, and if you don't get them socialized to it as a puppy, they could be fearful of it as an adult. And things you wouldn't think you need to socialize your puppy to, like household appliances. Because socialization does not mean I'm going to take my puppy to play with other dogs. That's not what socialization is. I mean, yes, that's a little bit of it, but a very small portion. And I take my dogs to puppy preschool because that's a controlled environment where they can socialize with other puppies, but that is like the last 10 minutes of class. The majority of class is desensitization to objects. And we also go home with a packet of things to socialize them to, such as other animals, like horses, livestock, things like a vacuum cleaner, hair dryer, garbage cans, moving garbage cans, garbage trucks, buses, all those things that might be really scary for a puppy. You want to socialize them to those things and show them that it's not that scary. So Nami is currently out there with my mom and my daughter right now because I want to finish this video, and she keeps trying to get into stuff. And like I said, I've tried to film this multiple times already, so I would like to get it out there finally. So a little bit more on socialization. You want to socialize them to anything and everything you can think of. I also like to take my puppies out with me on little outings. Now, pet stores are a big no-no until they have all of their shots. I don't ever take my dogs to dog parks, regardless of whether they've had all their shots or not, and we can talk about that in a totally different video, because that don't agree with dog parks. Don't take your dog to a dog park. But those places you want to steer clear of. Anywhere with high traffic of dogs, you want to stay clear of until you have all your shots. And good places to go for socialization are places like Ross, Marshall's, Joann Fabrics, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. All of those places are dog friendly. Anything TJ Maxx affiliated, which I believe Marshall's is, Home Goods, places like that, those are all pet friendly, which a lot of people don't know. And those are places that not a lot of people bring their dogs to. So it's good socialization. It's getting them used to shopping carts. It's getting them used to people walking around everywhere. Now, I will allow pets sometimes It's just really dependent on the situation. If I notice that my puppy is super overwhelmed and she's scared of something, like currently she's going through a fear phase. Corsos go through fear phases about 8 to 10 weeks. I believe that's also for a lot of other dogs, a lot of other breeds as well. But they go through a fear phase from 8 to 10 weeks. And I noticed our first outing to Ross, she was very fearful of a lot of stuff. I mean, this is all brand new to her. She's never seen any of it. And a lady walked up to us while she's, acting fearful, acting very scared, very nervous. And I'm trying to be neutral to the situation, because you also don't want to coddle them. Coddling them is just showing them that, hey, if I act fearful of this, I'm going to get praise, I'm going to get love. You don't want to do that. Just be neutral to the situation. And a lady walked up to us and was like, oh my gosh, she's so cute. Can I pet her? No, you may not. I'm sorry. She's acting really fearful right now. I want her to get neutral to this situation. They don't have to like everything. They don't have to be super excited about everything. That's not what socialization is about. It's about showing them that not everything's out to get them. Not everything, it deserves a fearful reaction. Okay, so I did a lot of that with Odin. I actually did it with him from day one. With her, I kind of took it a little bit slower because I noticed she was a little bit more nervous than he was. And I wanted to take a little bit of extra time to bond with her, because I also noticed Odin was very trusting of us from the beginning. Don't know why, that's just how he was. And she was not. So I didn't want to push too much on her too soon. I still did it. We went out to Ross, we went to Tractor Supply Co., we went through the Starbucks drive-through, things like that, all socialization. And I tried to keep them very short trips. So not too long. I didn't take her out for 4 hours at a time or anything like that. Yeah, we did have a car ride. That was probably about 30 minutes a piece. But in the store itself, 10, 20, 30 minutes tops. You want to keep it to a minimum, and you want to keep the experience positive for them. So if you, before you even walk in, if you see, oh, there's another dog in there and maybe he's got reactivity or something like that, you don't want to go in there. If there's way too much going on in there, you don't want to go in. You just want to take it slow in the beginning and slowly, gradually work them up to that, and give them lots of praise and lots of treats and things like that when they're out and doing really good and they're acting neutral in the situations. If they're paying attention to you, because that's another thing about socialization. When I take Odin out, still to this day for socialization, I want him paying attention to me, not everything else. I want him noticing what I'm doing, what I want him to do, how I want him to behave. He should be focused on me. And it's the same with her. When we're out and about and I'm noticing that she's following me around, she's keeping her eyes on me, she's checking in with me constantly, I reward all of that, because that's all behaviors that you want from your dog. You want them to be looking to you for guidance. So, we could do a whole video on socialization. That's a really big thing with Canine Corsos. It should be a thing with every dog breed. You should be socializing every dog breed, doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's big, small, working breeds, not working breeds, you should socialize your puppy. Also, another thing I wanted to talk about was crate training. Puppies need a lot of crate time. It seems unfair, but it's not. Think of a puppy's crate as like a baby's cradle. It keeps them safe. When you can't supervise them, they need to be in their crate. When they're taking naps, they need to be in their crate. So she gets a pretty decent amount of crate time. I try to get her out as soon as she wakes up so that I can take her outside. And that's another thing with potty training. You should take them out immediately. Take them outside immediately when you get them out of that crate, because they're going to need to go. If they wake up from a nap, they need to go outside. If you hadn't crated them for their nap and they wake up, you need to take them outside immediately. You need to be taking them outside about 20 minutes after they eat. If they don't go, wait another 10 minutes, take them out again. It's a lot of going outside, running in and out. I bell train my dogs so that they have a way of communicating to me that they need to go to the bathroom. And what I've been doing with Nami, and this is the same thing I did with Odin, and there are multiple ways to bell train. This is how I do it. From the very beginning, when I take my puppy outside, I have bells right over here on my door, my front door, and I have them on the back door too. But I ring those bells every time we go outside, and I say outside. And she has already started to ring them. And when your puppy rings those bells, if you do decide to bell train, which I highly recommend it, it's great. When they ring those bells, even if you just hook them outside and you know that they don't have to go, they ring those bells, they go outside. Even if it's for a couple seconds, whatever. Let them sniff around a little bit. If they have to go, they'll go. If they don't, cool, whatever. They are starting to realize and pair those two things together that, hey, if I ring these bells, I get to go outside. Now, I will say it can be kind of annoying because Odin will ring them regardless of whether he has to go or not. If he wants to go outside to check something out, or if he wants to go outside for a WAOK, he will ring those bells. Which is fine with me because I would rather him ring them and be able to communicate with me that he wants to go out there or he needs to go out there than to have him peeing in the house. He has not had an accident in my house since, I believe, after the first month we got him. She has had a few more than he has. He was a lot easier to potty train. I think that's just how it is with males and females. I'm not quite sure. Don't know if there is a difference, but that's what I've always noticed. Males are a lot easier to potty train than females. Again, that crate training, potty training, socialization, and learning their name, those are all things that you should be working on. I'm not saying don't train your dog on other things. You can train a sit, you can train it down, you can do all the basics if that's what you want to do, but also go at their pace. If you notice that they're not catching on to things quickly, you shouldn't be forcing it on them. There are things that, like I said, Odin picked up on quicker than she is, like potty training, for instance, crate training, that's another thing. She whines a lot in her crate. I don't acknowledge that. If I know that all of her basic needs are met, she was fed, she had water, she went outside, I know she doesn't have to go to the bathroom anymore because I also take her out before I put her back in the crate just to make sure she doesn't have to go. If all of those basic needs are met and she's got a little chew toy in there that she can, self-soothe, then I ignore it. You have to. Because if you get them out every time they whine, they will do that for the rest of their lives. With Odin, he only whined at night, but it was ridiculous. We had to wear earplugs for weeks. And it is what it is. When you have a puppy, that's something that you have to deal with. It's just like having a baby. When they cry, it's just something you have to deal with. And I'm not saying have your babies cry it out like you do your puppies, but, your puppy just wants to be out with you and the family, and they're more comfortable sleeping next to you. That's 9 times out of 10 why they're crying, if all their other needs are met. So that is basically all I wanted to talk about this week in the video. I can do more in-depth videos on each of those topics in a later time, but those are the things that I'm working on right now with my puppy, and I hope that was helpful for you guys. If you want to leave any questions in the comments, let me know. Also, I am having issues with trying to edit these videos, so if you have any suggestions on editing software for videos, let me know in the comments. My stepson did give me an app, so I am going to try that out today because I was having a heck of a time trying to edit these last few videos that I filmed. So, anyways, like I said, post questions in the comments, let me know. I appreciate you guys watching, and also if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be great. That would help me out a lot. Thank you.